Hi guys, it's Sash here. Just wanting to make a video today about the feet and foot problems. Now I've been done a lot of study in podiatry, and yeah, they talk about a lot about the biomechanics and axes and angles and the levers of the foot and all of this, and there's a lot of talk about orthotics, but what I find is that it's not really the answers to fixing foot problems. Now, just speaking biomechanically, one of the biggest problems is not about making an orthotic to fit the foot and correct the foot to what is supposedly the correct biomechanics of a foot, which is always different. I mean, just the terrain that people indigenously hereditary come from is such a big factor to how the foot is used. But more than anything, the foot is meant to be bare. It's meant to, how do I say this? You've got 5 toes, you've got balls of your foot, you've got a heel, you've got soft spots, you've got hard spots, and simply put, having awareness of the toes and the ball of the foot and every little spot of the foot shows you the way to properly biomechanically walk for your body. And you know this because when you walk barefoot, you'll feel it. You'll feel how to use your toes. You'll start to learn and discover the best ways to move your feet, because other ways will feel less comfortable and other ways will hurt. Walking more on the heel of your foot is going to hurt a lot more than properly placing the toes and placing the ball and walking off the ball. There's no doubt. Now, when you're wearing shoes, runners, classical runners, they've got a big heel, and when you're walking, you by far always heel contact. When you run, you'll get forefoot contact, but when you're walking, you'll hit heel first, like without a doubt. And it's like, yes, your foot's comfortable, you've sort of comforted your foot, and you're not hurting your foot by having a good runner because it's all padded and comforted. But when you're not using all the different bones in the foot to help with the pounding, whether you're running or walking, there's still a pounding, there's still a contraction. You still need to soften that walking movement as much as possible. When you use a runner like that, you completely wipe out all of the bounce and I'm looking for the word, I can't think of it. The cushioning. So you wipe out all of that deceleration that happens when you use so many different bones and muscles in the foot. When you wear a shoe, you skip the foot and you go straight into ankle, knees, hips, and you give them all the pressure. The foot takes away a lot of the impact pressure from the ankles, knees, and hips, because you've got the toe, you've got the tarsals, you've got the cuboid, metatarsals, naviculars, calcaneum, all those things that all help to take away those forces. So when you cushion your foot and you start walking off the heel, you completely skip the rest of the foot, and it takes its toll. People start getting knee problems, people start getting hip problems. It's all because they haven't really discovered how to walk, taking the time to feel their feet out and feel, how do I use these things? How do I use these complicated structures that have so many bones in them as compared to the long bones of the body? What does this mean? Why is it all so intricately put together? You don't have to think of it in the way of structure and internalize it, but feeling it and feeling what happens with the toes and the joints we'll start to take impact off the rest of the body. And remember that we're in an unnatural world. We're walking on cement. Cement has no give as compared to grass and dirt. And on another note, so that's just biomechanically talking about feet. So I mean, the things to do these days, walking barefoot is great. I don't think there's any substitute to it. I do it all the time on cement, less like to, nature strip all the time. And as far as rocks and pebbles and stuff is concerned, when you dedicate yourself to that, your awareness opens. Just like people who always spot pennies without even thinking about it. It's because that's what they're attracting into their life. If you walk barefoot, after a little while, you won't step on anything anymore. You won't run on anything anymore. You just sort of have a sensory awareness. Your feet have consciousness, literally. Your feet have consciousness, and they'll know where to step if you give them the love. And love is only awareness and care. So when your feet are in love, when you've energized your feet with the high vibration of love, they'll know how to take care of themselves, because you've expanded your awareness of yourself to your feet. So you'll find that you won't walk on things that are going to hurt you, and you'll be, and even if you do walk on something, you'll know before you even put your full weight on it, because your feet, you'll have given your feet that awareness. It'll become second nature. But even for people who don't like to walk around barefoot, there's one company that I've come across. I don't have their product yet, but I'm looking forward to getting it, which is called Vibram. And they make a barefoot runner, one that mimics being barefoot, so you can walk more or less the same way. Like I said, I'm not sure how great it is, but I've seen a lot of people wearing them, and I've heard a lot of good things about them, so I'm looking forward to trying it out. Okay, another thing about foot care is, well, it's really whole body care, but the best way for us seems to be through the feet. And just from experience, the feet are one of the most absorbable areas there are. So, and that can be good and bad. But anyway, so the next piece of the puzzle is grounding and charge. So, and that really means connecting with the earth. And that's not, it is to some extent a spiritual concept, but it's also a science concept. Remembering that spirituality is the spirit in living, and science is the science of living. What works best to live? Same with spirituality. What is a spirit living? How does the spirit live the best? Which is a good way for that to happen. So now, from a physics perspective, grounding is nothing more than the idea that the earth decharges all static and all, I guess, bad electricity and radiation and electrical charge. And I mean, we live around so many phone poles and so many sources of radiation that make no mistake, they absorb into the body and they charge the body up. And when the body's so charged, people can even feel them passing on static to other people. Now, the reason we're building up so much static is that we're insulated from the earth. The earth will draw all static electrical charge from the body, the charge that puts it in an overcharged state that biofunctionally we can't perform as well. So, and when I mean that, I mean on a cellular level, atomic level, electricity is being produced at all times. So there's a perfect electrical environment. Every reaction, every cellular reaction, every formation of cell, there's always an ideal, optimal electrical state for that production to be the best. Now, when you go and raise the potential of that electricity value, then you're going to start to screw with the natural the natural working function of the body. So, the best way to decharge the body is to connect with the earth. And that means not to be insulated from the earth. Now, at the biggest level, i.e. flights, and even worse, astronauts that are so far away from the earth, the charge that they start to build up is immense, and that's when the biggest problems happen. So many people get sick from flying. I mean, yes, air cabin, yes, diseases floating around, yeah, a little bit, but I think more of the story is being so highly charged that their body functions aren't working as well. They're getting tired, they're getting all sorts of things. And astronauts, they come close to death sometimes if they're up there for too long, with the radiation that's coming off, and not having the protective layers of Earth, and also being so far away from the Earth that they can't get away from the electrical charge that they're building up in their bodies. But for us on Earth, same story to a lesser extent, to an extent for most of us that we're not even aware of the differences. But wearing shoes, sleeping in a bed for whatever, 6, 8, 10 hours, 12 hours, that's off the ground, that's so far away from the Earth, it's all insulating. Never getting proper contact with the soil, the grass, and at the best level of transference is being in a natural spring or the ocean or whatsoever, because that gives the best water is a great conductor to transference of energy. So spending time connecting with the earth is going to have an immense factor of health on the body and optimal performance. So me personally, I walk around everywhere barefoot. If I'm walking on cement for barefoot, then I'm walking biomechanically to keep walking correctly rather than walking incorrectly, knowing my feet and knowing how to walk on them. So that's what's happening if I'm walking on cement, but that's only because there's cement. We think we're so clever with cement, but it's a bit of a killer to society. Dirt and grass would work out so much better. Clean dirt, good topsoil that you could sink your feet into. That would be so healthy for people. But and then when I'm off cement, then it's all about earthing and grounding. And in the warm countries, we're so lucky to be able to do this, because I lived in Canada, and you freeze your feet off. Great, get frostbite on your feet if you go walk around barefoot. So it's not a great idea. But in countries like now, where I am now, Australia, and all countries that you can walk around barefoot, use it. Absolutely use it. It's so good for you. It's so amazingly good for you. Spiritually speaking, I mean, we are people of the land, and being with the earth, being with nature and connecting with nature on a level of touch for the body. Now, do you need any of this to be happy? No, it's not necessary. Do you maybe need some of this to take care of your body? Yes. Knowing that you're not your body? Yes. So, don't do this to be okay. Do this because you care about your body. And don't do this because I've said it. I mean, everything that I've said it's not a philosophy, it's not theory, it's what I've practiced. So I don't ever want people to think that this is the right way. This is just the way that has given results to me, given what I'm searching for, which is optimal health. I go try this stuff out and I test it, and then I start to say, okay, this has worked for me, maybe I'll share it with someone else. I'll invite someone else to try it and see whether it works for them. Other than that, not too much more to say. Also walking with your feet and being with nature will start to heal the skin up and make the skin better, and all the dead skin will start to disappear too, especially getting your feet into into ocean water and spring water, soaking your feet in a spring. The feet are a very, very high conductor of minerals and all that sort of stuff straight into the foot. You're walking on grass, the chlorophyll will go into your foot. It's quite incredible. The skin in general is very, very permeable, let alone the feet. So absolutely put that to use. Just thinking anything else. I'm not going to talk about internal dietary for the feet and getting rid of the mucus and alkalizing the body to help the feet. Other than that, like I said, podiatry, it's all sort of surface maintenance. I think the real answers to the foot are grinding and earthing. And by the way, there are a lot of earthing products on the market. Just look up earthing; it'll be there. And as far as with the earthing companies, they've got a grinding sandal, which is great if you don't want to walk barefoot. The only thing with that is it's pretty hard to run in, so don't try running in them, and you can sort of destroy the grinding element on it. You'll loosen it. I've found that out. But there's a lot of grinding products that will help grind you while you're in your home and not on the earth, especially for the cold countries, like earthing sheets and earthing mats and earthing mice pads and earthing grind mats and all sorts of things which are useful. But so earthing definitely, mineral water, mineral spring water and seawater for your feet, absolutely, and just taking the time to be aware and learn your feet and learn what they're all about, because look at them, look how many moving parts there are. They're very intricate objects. So it would be we really learn how to use our hands well because we use them so well, but our hands are always free and uncovered, but our feet are always completely tucked away and padded, and we don't really get to learn to use them. So it would be wise if you want to, especially if you have foot problems, but just generally, it would be wise to really learn what's happening with my feet and get some awareness on it. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Over and out, Sash. Bye.